Coming in at number 4, we have the Enfield rifle in Fallout Tactics. Now this one is definitely a pain because it comes at like the biggest jump up in difficulty in Tactics. Now Tactics is already a pretty difficult Fallout game by the other Fallout standards. I think it's maybe the most difficult Fallout game out of all of them. This is on the St. Louis mission, which anybody that's played Tactics can tell you how bad the St. Louis mission is. This is the very first time that you're fighting super mutants, and the super mutants in Tactics are very scary. You're fighting a lot of them. They're much tankier than basically everything else that you fought up to this point. They can have armor, and they have extremely powerful weapons that can just tear you apart, because pretty much all of the super mutants are either equipped with melee and throwing weapons, in which case those ones usually aren't too scary, because grenades kind of suck, but they're not the worst thing, and like most of their melee weapons are terrible. They have very low-leveled melee weapons that they'll just charge you with. You can kill those guys no problem. The problem is most of the super mutants aren't that. Most of them have big guns, and big guns are really scary in Tactics, and you haven't really fought many people that have had big guns up to this point, where every super mutant, or nearly every super mutant, is either carrying around the M249 SAW, the M60, the Browning M250 cal, or they're carrying around a rocket launcher. And all of those can kill your team really, really fast. Like, even the SAW, which is the weakest of the group, it still does a ton of damage. The scariest weapons you fought up to this point were like shotguns that might have burst fire, or like a double barrel that can fire out both barrels, or you're fighting like AKs, which fire in burst as well, which are kind of scary. But when the AK fires a burst, it's like 8 rounds. And when the SAW bursts, it does like 10 rounds, and the SAW does almost double damage from like the AK. So it's a lot more DPS that's coming at you a lot faster. That's not even the scariest part though, because where this rifle is on the other side of the map, where you have to go pretty much the entire length of the map, pick up a key, then you have to come all the way back, go through a minefield, go through barbed wire where there's still mutants in there, and you can't really take the armored vehicle there. You have to go across a bridge, which is also booby-trapped, and then up at the top of this hill where the bridge is, there's a bunch of super mutants, and they don't even have those weapons I was talking about. They might have a couple of them, but most of them have miniguns or Vindicator miniguns, which are potentially even more dangerous than any of the other ones I talked about, besides maybe the 50 cal. And you still have to run across this bridge, run down the side where this chest is, open it up, and then you get the Enfield. And the Enfield is a one-of-a-kind weapon. You can't get it anywhere else. You can go back to this mission and get it later, so that's always a bonus. But the Enfield is okay overall as a weapon, so it might not even be worth getting, especially considering you can get FALs a couple of different ways before you get here, and the FAL is just stronger. The Enfield is nice. It's an upgrade from like the AK or the M16 if you only specialized in small guns, so that is a bonus. But it's not really an upgrade over like the M249 SAWs or the M2 Browning that you could already get in that board. So it may not be worth getting, and it's a very dangerous weapon to actually pick up.